Okay, I'm going to show you this highlight right here with 9 seconds left. And this is Golden State and Portland. I'm going to show how to avoid the second half trap with some of these favorites, okay? Now, we knew that Golden State was going to be a play in the second half, okay? We knew the public was going to be betting on this team, okay? So this is something that you would want to avoid when you're betting on these teams, because a lot of people are going to look at this matchup and they're going to see Golden State down by 12 at halftime. They were down by as much as 21, I believe, in the first half, and most of the public is going to see this and going to take Golden State in the second half because of the fact that all they have to do is win the game, right? It seems like an easy bet, but it really isn't. Okay, I used to wonder why these teams would not come back and win. But then once I started to realize and figure out how these lines work, then I started to understand why these teams do not make runs or win these games and why certain things happen, at the very end of games like this. Okay, so you see this Golden State game here, and they're down by 12 points at halftime. They make the line 9 in the second half. So basically, all they have to do is not lose by more than 3 points in this game. So if the public thinks that Golden State is going to come back and win, they are going to take this bet, okay? All they have to do is win by 1 point, and they win the bet, right? It seems like an easy thing to bet on, but it's really not, okay? Now, let me remind you, this game was on ESPN, okay? So it's the last game of the day. I've made previous videos about the last game, going into a day, okay? The last game on the board. These are the games that that the casinos in Vegas like to get the people on and the public, okay? And these are the games that they win the most money on, all right? So we knew that most of the public was going to take Golden State in the second half, especially down 12. See, that is how they set up these games as well, because they know Portland was up big, and they make the line huge. So not only does the casinos cash, they cash on both sides. They cash the whole game. It's like they clean up on everything, okay? So they won the first half. They won the second half. Portland won the money line. You see, they won a bunch of quarters, okay? So this is where they make their money on these last night games, okay? So most of the time when you have a great team like Golden State, these teams are going to stay competitive, okay? Especially to help the casinos and cover for Vegas, okay? Now, when you have teams that's getting little volume on them, these favorites will come back because of the fact that nobody's betting on these teams, okay? They have very low interest in them, and there's not that much money on them, so you will see these favorites come back. And the ones that, like, for instance, the games that are ranked, these are the teams that I'm talking about that will not come back, okay? Especially if they get down early in the first half. The reason why is because these are games that are going to be nationally televised games, okay? And these teams these teams play for the casinos, okay? These teams that are unranked, okay, these teams will play for the casinos, especially if they're up at halftime. Then they're trying to set something up, okay? Now, if it's a complete mismatch where the team has a very poor record playing against a ranked team, these teams will probably, if they get down at halftime, they will come back because of the fact that the public is not going to bet on these inflated lines, okay? The public just likes to get the team to win outright in the second half, okay? If they're a big favorite where they have to win by double digits, if they get down double digits and they have to win by more than 5 or 6 points, the public is not going to take these teams, and that is when these teams will come back and blow out these teams, okay? Because they know the public is not going to take those type of teams. They just want to bet them on just to win outright in the second half, okay? Just like this Golden State game here, okay? All Golden State had to do was win by 1 point, or lose by less than 3. If they lose by 3, it would be a push, okay? So they ended up winning here by 6, all right, in the second half. Now I'm going to show you this sequence right here and why this was so important, because it was 121-117 with 9.1 seconds left, okay? Now, right now, Portland is covering by 1 point in the second half. Okay, remember, if Golden State loses by 3, it would be a push, okay? So there's a lot of money riding on this game right now. So let's take a look at what happens in this play, in the sequence here, okay? So Durant gets the ball right here. And, you know, Kevin Durant is a superstar player, okay? He's a superstar player, and I can almost bet 100% that he knew exactly where his foot was, okay? These players do this every single day, and they do not, especially a player like Kevin Durant would not make a mistake like this, okay? When he's, 9.1 seconds left on the game clock, and this is a crucial play right here, and he steps out of bounds, but it looked like, you can't really see from the angle if he really did step out of bounds. It looked like his heel was up above the baseline, above the line here. So we don't really know. I can't really say if his foot was touching the baseline or not. It looked like it was up in the air, but we'll never know because I don't have a good angle of this. But it just makes you think, because Kevin Durant is a superstar player. Most of the time, he's not going to make this mistake, okay? So this was a big play because of the fact that he makes this shot here, and they get it to a 1-point game. And that would mean, what that would mean is Golden State is now covering the second half line, okay? So let's take a look at this. Okay, so he makes a 3, and they wave it off because his foot is touching the line, apparently. Okay, even though you can't really tell from this angle if his foot even touched the line, it does look like it was on the baseline, but we don't know if his heel was up or not. But for a player of this caliber to make this mistake at this critical time is kind of makes you think about what is really going on when you see the way the line developed for this game, and especially for the second half, and how meaningful this was. Okay, so there you see it right there. That was a big play. If he makes that 3, which he did, it would be 120-121 with one. They would be down 1 point. Okay, most likely they would foul. All right, and who knows if he makes both free throws. They probably take the last shot and go for a 3. So at worst, it would be a push. They would have to pay out, give all that money back to the bettors. And like I said, Vegas and the casinos like to get greedy on these games, okay, on these second half wagers, okay, especially on a night game like this. So this was another play right here at the end of the game. They could have ended up shooting a 3 here, but then Klay Thompson just throws it, and heaves it to one of the Portland players here. So that just basically gave them no chance to cover the game. So that was basically it. They went 123-117, and then the game is over. So they end up covering, Portland does, and winning all the first half, the second half, the game, and the money line on this game. So they won basically 4 times, and who knows how they won in the in-game and also the quarters. But see, this is basically how you avoid these trap games, okay? So watch out for these trap games, especially these night games. ESPN, okay, a lot of people are going to be trapped on this Golden State game, taking them to win just outright. And this is something that I have learned over the years of how to avoid these types of games, because I always used to wonder why these games would end like this. So I hope this was informative. So I'll be back with some more videos. So comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you then.